Hello, Aditi. Welcome to IWMBuzz. This is your host, Shubhojit Ghosh. First of all, many congratulations for this lovely phase that you're going through at the moment. And, if Ashram was good, Ashram 2 is supposed to be even bigger and better in every way possible. So, first of
Right.
all, tell me that, whenever you're coming up with a season 2 of any show, the first thing that people focus is the fact that season 1 hit hua hai, isliye season 2 aa raha hai. Otherwise,
Ji.
nobody will make a season 2. So,
Right.
is the fact that season 1 was, received in such a nice way, what do you have to say on that, and do you feel that there's any additional pressure for season 2 to work, because एक अलग expectation हो जाते हैं in the minds of the audience when the first season of any show works. There's always an expectation जो कि first season में नहीं होता.
Right. Right. Well, like you said, पहला सीजन अगर हिट हो तो फिर ही सेकंड सीजन बनता है. तो हमारे साथ तो ये दूसरा पार्ट था, तो हमने तो ये एक साथ शूट किया था. We had shot this together. It was supposed to be season 1, and I didn't know they were going to cut it into 2 parts, which they did. And I didn't know that it's going to be so impactful that when the first season comes, when the first part comes up, there's going to be so much suspicion and so much, there's so much excitement for the second part, which made it even more. I think it gave it more fire, actually speaking. And the second part has more of me, which gave me a lot of boost. And I think, as you said, I think this has been the most amazing year of my career and my life now, because I had She before this, and now it's Aashram, and both have their season 2s and have we've been received very well by the audience, and completely different characters altogether, and different platforms, of course. So I think I don't know what else to expect. I think I'm extremely happy.
Well, एक कहावत है, देने वाला जब भी देता देता छप्पड़ फाड़ के. So that is what it is for you. So 2020 has been pretty much like that. I will come to She as well in the later half of the conversation. But because we're talking right now about Ashram Chapter 2, the first season we saw, that, you were actually facing a lot of discrimination because you had certain goals. I mean, your character had certain goals, and it had a lot of potential. But then because of the discrimination in the society, it was somewhere down the line, brought down, which
Right.
shouldn't be the case. So
Right.
season 2 is all about probably you discovering that, what all has been, done wrong, like whatever you were feeling was right is actually wrong. So there's a
Right.
certain realization that dawns upon you after which you go through that, emotion as your character. But tell me, in reality, because entertainment industry is also such, which is a pretty difficult, I would say, industry to survive, especially for women coming from humble backgrounds with no filmy background. It's a very difficult journey altogether. In the industry, be it in any respect, I don't want you to go too deep probably, but then if you ever face discrimination in any form in the industry, how did you actually come forward and deal with it? Because right now you have obviously dealt with it nicely, which is why you are here. But
Yeah.
if you actually face something like that, how did you get the courage to deal with that situation? Because movie mein ya fir web series mein hona and real life mein hona, both are two different things altogether.
Right, right. Yeah, so honestly speaking, believe karo ya na karo, I really haven't faced any discrimination as yet, or probably I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
चाहे वो हुआ भी हो तो मैंने उस पर कभी अमल नहीं किया. I never focused on मेरे साथ ही हो रहा है, और मैं नॉन फिल्मी बैकग्राउंड से हूँ इसीलिए हो रहा है. I never focused on it. I just kept working, and I started with Makran sir, Makran Deshpande, and he always said, just keep working. You will reach where you have to, but just keep working. So I think if you hone your craft, if you really work on you're an actor, you need to act. That's all you need to do. You don't have to think about the rest of the world. So चाहे वो audition हो या look test हो या जो भी हो, just do it. No, how does it matter? कौन क्या कर रहा है, उससे तुम्हें क्या करना है ना? तो अगर ये attitude रहेगा तो मुझे कभी भी कोई भी किसी भी टेस्ट के लिए कभी भी बुलाए, I feel like सिर्फ एक काम करो, आप मेरा टेस्ट लो, मैं खुद शूट नहीं करने वाली, because it's a lot of work to do. But I have no problem doing anything at all. And yes, one thing is there that I really focus on is the script and the director. These are the two things I really am not careful, but I'm really excited to work with exciting directors. तो क्या होता है, उतना टाइम जो मैं which I spend in performing that script makes me learn so much more that I get ready for the next script which is going to come my way. I don't know what, but I certainly have like 10 more pebbles in my basket when I do work with a veteran director like Imtiaz Ali or Prakash Jha, for that matter. There's so much to learn from them, and very quickly you can just hop on experiences, because unka experience mere lifetime se bhi zyada hai. So you can imagine. तो that experience is mine then after that, and it's up to me to take it or not. तो अगर मैं इस सब पे focus करती रही कि मैं discriminated हूँ या मैं outsider हूँ या जो भी हूँ, I'm going to lose out on this time. You know, I rather invest my time in manifesting this reality for myself than looking back in the past or whatever it is. I don't know. I truly believe in this.
Yeah. But I think it's a really, really, interesting approach because, going by your answer, I mean, this is the first time that we are, getting introduced and talking, but, baat karke, I get this vibe that, whatever you said right now in context to this question, there's a lot of positivity that you have and in a sense of confidence, because do you think this discrimination and this thing that, acha yaar, mere saath hi sirf galat ho raha hai, kisi aur ke saath nahi ho raha hai, this also has to do with, your inner sense of confidence. Jin log ka shayad wo kam rehta hai, they feel it's happening to them a lot more.
Right, certainly. Like, see, मुझे एक ही दिक्कत हो रही है जो मुझे पता नहीं था लोगों के साथ होती है, which is about dates. मतलब अभी मेरे dates इतने clash हो रही है कि I have to say yes. I want to say yes to all the directors I want to work with, but कहीं ना कहीं वो compromise हो रहा है. अभी वो कैसे handle करना होता है, I'm learning that bit for sure. तो मुझे ऐसे लगता है I started as a nobody, right? I came from a sports background rather. Even though my uncle he's a musician, but he's from a completely Hindustani classical music background से मेरे uncle है, वो तो कभी playback भी नहीं करते. तो मेरे को कोई भी किसी भी तरह की help नहीं थी. I started off with the Aram Nagar auditions. I started off with going to Yashraj and this and that and Mukesh Chabra's auditions and हाँ कभी कभी ऐसे हुआ कि बहुत पास आके भी वो फिल्म मिली नहीं तो उसके बारे में बहुत बुरा लगा काफी समय तक. पर इन सब के ऊपर मुझे एक चीज जरूर समझ में आ गई है कि अभी जब भी मैं I have to do a scene for that matter, like Haryanvi, this accent which I had to do, I actually was shortlisted for Dangal long ago. So it was in the final that I was going to be shortlisted. But that time I had a issue which I told everybody, like Mukesh sir and everybody, that I had to undergo a surgery. So I said, sir, मेरे को तो थोड़ा time लगेगा. So I don't know how I'll be able to cope up with this because I know that you have to put on that weight, which I did in this 9 kilos, about 9 kilos for this role. But वो जो मैंने थोड़ी बहुत हरियाणवी सीख ली वहाँ पे, वो आज मेरे कितने काम आ गई, So kabhi bhi you're not losing out, and time is just an illusion. I feel, it's such an illusion. Like you really, if you're right now, I'm with you. This is my present moment, and if I'm happy in this moment, why should I think about what happened yesterday? Why should I? There's no reason because I want to be happy. It's what your outlook is in a very larger perspective, So I completely believe in that. I don't really think about anything else.
Well, I think it's a lovely approach because when you don't dwell too much into the past, that's where you focus on the present and that's how you build your future. So I think I really like that approach coming from your end. You got to tell me, you spoke about Makarand Deshpande sir. He's a sweetheart when it comes to being a director or being somebody who grooms young talent with perfection. But you are one of those fortunate ones who has also got to work with somebody like a late Nishikant sir. That too at a very early stage of your career. And I believe the Lai Bhari casting also happened because of his faith on you after seeing after he called you for multiple rounds of screen tests and exactly what you were talking about. So it was so when a veteran director like that shows confidence on somebody like you who is probably relatively inexperienced. I'm talking about the time of Lai Bhari. So how does it actually boost your confidence as a personality, or does it make you feel more confident about the fact that yes, I do belong here, or does it add any pressure कि हाँ यार इतने बड़े director is showing faith in me or faith on me, now if I don't live up to the expectations it's going to be a deal breaker?
See, देखो वो तो होता ही है. जैसे अब आप निशी सर के बारे में बात कर रहे हो, really I still can't believe it that he's not around because he was the one who chose me from a play and he said मुझे पता है तू करेगी, and that confidence that he had, and I was like, and I had a set of people, written down. First name was Nishikant Kamath. When I started off, exactly when I was like almost 9th, 10th grade, I was thinking, "Arey, chalo, let's start early in this career, because just at that point I started doing theatre. So I was like, I had a list of people who I wanted to meet, and Nishi sir was the first guy. And I just messaged him. I got his number and I messaged him, and he met me right here at Aram Nagar. His office was here, and I was this little girl, and he was like, you should meet Aaditi Chopra. And I said, okay, but how should I meet him? Like, can you take me to him? So he's like, no, you figure that out, however, but you should meet him because you're a young girl and you're vibrant. He really likes to cast people like you. So when he said that to me, I said, but why don't you cast me? I mean, why are you sending me to someone else?
Yeah.
So he was like, no, when the time will come, I'll let you know. And he did. I mean, he really called me for the audition. And I still remember it was a page-long monologue. But that time my Marathi wasn't that great. Okay, even now it's not that great, but it's manageable. But the entire monologue was in complete Shuddha Marathi, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, sure, how am I going to do this? And I was sitting at his office all day. I was like, when is he going to take? And I had to wear a sari. And he told me, look as pretty as you can. Okay. Make sure you look pretty. And I was like, oh shit, that is such a pressure. I mean, that was more of a pressure than anything else. How are you going to live up to this? And then I did, of course, practice my monologue 100 million times. So when I gave him the test, I mimicked people. Okay. So after the test, I said, sir, how was it? So how was it? And he didn't say anything. He didn't say much. He's like, dekhte. Okay. And I mimicked, that time I mimicked Kangna Ranaut in front of him. And I said something very funny. So that actually struck a chord, and he said, yaar, ye ladki to confident hai. Iska confidence mein kya hai, you know? And he said it in front of me. So I was like, oh shit, this has worked. Something has worked over here. Because as an actor, you don't know na yaar, main kahan hu, kya nahi hu. So you're already meeting a big director. So I was like, oh shit, I hope he calls me. But I was sure he won't call me. I was sure. Same thing happened with Imtiaz Ali. You know, when I met him for She, he said that, you know, you look, you should do rom-coms. You look too young for this character. This character is very mature. Okay, Bhumika Pardesi. But anyway, would you like to, screen test for it? I said, sir, I'm waiting to meet you for the last 3 years. Whatever you say, I'll do it. You tell me. And he said, okay. So now next brief first, make sure you look as ugly as possible. And I was like, what are these guys making me do? Like, what's happening? No, look as unattractive as possible, you know? मतलब completely ठंडा character है. So I was like, ठीक है, मेरे पास कुछ unattractive तो है नहीं, क्योंकि मैं तो ऐसी regular लड़की की तरह behave करती हूँ. फिर मैंने बहुत कुछ सोचा और मैंने कुछ पहना और मैं गई, and I realized that it's more of the feel and the craft that they want to see more than the, you know, because Bhumika Pardesi was not really me. They wanted a different looking personality, and I just fit in it because I happen to behave like one, and I use the accent. So I think there is no set rule. डर जरूर लगता है बड़े डायरेक्टरों के साथ, पर एक और चीज मुझे हमेशा लगती है कि हाँ, बड़े डायरेक्टर हो, but this is my opportunity. So if I mess it up right now by getting stressed, it's going to be my loss. So I just shut that completely, and I look at that person like I'm looking at anyone else, and I do my bit. And I think that confidence comes from stage, because that's one thing stage teaches you. No matter who's sitting in front of you, you got to perform. You have no way out.
And I think it's really interesting. At the end of the day, the learning that I have from here, and I think even our viewers will have the same learning, is that कुछ भी अगर आप सीखते हो तो वो आगे जाके या तो present में या future में जाके it definitely does work in your favor. And exactly that was what you were talking about, you know, your Marathi and all those things that eventually worked out for you. Last question I have regarding the show before I go to a quick short fun segment. That is, Aashram 2 is obviously there, and you have She as well, both coming in 2020. And it's a really interesting phase. Do you personally think that because the audience has accepted you wonderfully in the OTT platform with these two diverse kind of characters, now is the time where you actually get to probably experiment a lot more, or do you want to stick to whatever you were doing probably for another year or two, so that you can probably cement your place a lot more before you actually go into that experiment zone? What is there in your mind?
No, honestly, like I said, I'll look at the script and I'll look at the director. And luckily, I'll not get typecast anymore. I realize that, because from a 29-year-old, I've done a 19-year-old, you know. Exactly. और ये तो एकदम चुलबुली सी लड़की है और वो एकदम सीरियस टाइप लड़की थी. तो अब ऐसा हो गया, मेरे पास एक रबर बैंड की तरह वेरिएशन आ गया है. तो कोई भी अगर पूछता है कि तुमने किया क्या है, मैं उनको बता सकती हूँ यार मैंने ये किया हुआ है ना. सो और मैंने लयभारी में रोमांटिक भी किया था, मतलब I was a romantic girl in that, and so was I in a Tamil film. So I think since these scripts have come my way, I would really call myself fortunate in a very large scale. And whatever comes my way as the script and the director, I'll focus on that. But yes, I do want to do something light now. Like I want to do a comedy or I want to do a romantic film, you know, so that because I also get really exhausted playing these characters, you know. I feel bad for
it's a
the
toll on the
characters
mind.
so bad, yeah, so deeply, like for Pammi as well as Bhumi. But Bhumi came around, you know. Pammi is still really hurt, so let's see what happens after this. But yeah, I mean, I would like to do something halka fulka, like romantic
And
types.
it will suit you as well because a correct personality ko those kind of roles suit as well. So viewers,
Right.
you heard Aditi right now talking about Ashram as well as her other previous shows. Now I'm gonna be playing a short fun segment with her. So basically, it's a never have I ever thing. I
Okay.
promise you, ज़्यादा complicated सवाल है नहीं, all fun and chilled out सवाल which you will really love enjoying.
Okay.
So the first question that I have for you, Aditi, over here is कि very innocent सवाल. Never have I ever taken money from parents citing a fake reason during childhood.
No, never.
Okay. अच्छा ये थोड़ा interesting है. Never have I ever faked my marks in school or college.
Oh, that I have.
Bingo, high five.
Yeah,
Yeah.
completely.
Okay. Okay. So never have I ever been summoned by the teacher, coordinator, or principal in my school or college. Has that happened to
Someone,
you?
most of the times because I used to mimic them. So whenever they would hear me mimicking them, they would be like, "That's it, 10 days you're out of
अरे
school." You know.
अभी बुलाते घर वालों को अब जाके फिर
Well,
देखते हैं फिर क्या
हमेशा
होता है. Okay, so never have I ever stalked an ex on social media. तो ये आपने कभी किया है?
yes, I have. I always
But I
talk.
think it's something that everybody does. I mean, it's
Everybody. Yeah, I
almost
also play
everybody does.
pranks like big time. So I have called them also. And I've called them to like cafes and
Yeah,
busted them also. So
yeah.
I can go to any मुझसे बच
बाप
के
रे बाप.
रहना.
There's a different nutcut side
Gone
inside
girl.
hidden. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
which is probably coming out धीरे धीरे. Okay, the last two questions. Never have I ever purposely not picked up a call to avoid someone.
No, I always do that. So
You mean you always pick up calls?
no, I always never have I ever. What is the question?
Purposely, the question is never have I ever purposely not picked up a call to avoid
Hmm.
someone.
Uh, no, I always don't pick up calls. What I mean to say is to avoid people because I'm like, why should I waste time here?
Yeah. So after this, agar Aditi ke friends and all, if they're watching, then you know the reason now why she doesn't pick up your call.
Yeah, they
Okay?
all are fed up of me by now, honestly.
Okay, on that note, I move on to the next question. That is, never have I ever faked a medical reason to avoid an examination or an occasion. Have you
No,
done
never.
that?
No, never.
Okay. Last one. Promise, which is very interesting, very sweet as well. Never have I ever had a crush on my teacher.
Teacher. A skating teacher I did.
But it counts. At the end of the day, he is a teacher, right? So
Yeah. Of course.
yeah. But I really like the answers, some really honest and fiery answers coming from your end. Thank you so much, Aditi, for joining me out here on IWMBuzz. It's a pleasure. You're having a lovely time, and I wish you all the best for everything that you do in the future. Take care, stay in touch, and God bless. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.